what happens when a bunch of bank robbers run away with the loot to the woods to hide? Well, Biggie shows up and kills them all, I guess. Sort of. Maybe. I don't know. Find out tonight on Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly at Sasquatch Mountain. That's right. First you saw him, first you saw him fight predators. Then you saw him fight aliens. Then you saw him fight aliens and predators. Now he's fighting Bigfoot. That's right. It is Bigfoot Entertainment and Mr. Whalen. This was legit. With me, as usual, is Sir Wesley Losner of Lounge. How are you doing, sir?
I'm at that level.
That's right. Wesley so Wesley here earned his honorary knightship from the Squatchers Lounge Podcast University for slaying of the first imaginary Woo Squatch by refusing to watch Letters from the Big Man.
Yeah.
That's right. It was up on YouTube. I wanted to do it and get it out of the way. And he's like, isn't that a woo flick? I'm like, yeah, but we get to make fun of the woo people. And he's like, I don't want to do that. Let's do something else instead. So instead we did Sasquatch Mountain. And that's what you're going to bring you tonight. Hey, don't forget about the dirty underpants from the Bigfoot Hunters movie. They're not my dirty underpants, but they are dirty underpants. And if you haven't seen the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot Hunters movie, shame on you, because now it's gone from YouTube and you didn't see it. Then you prove it to I have it on DVD. Anyhow, let's get over to Mr. Wesley and talk about Sasquatch Mountain.
All right, so the beginning of this is kind of like a found footage kind of feel. You get the sad piano playing, so you know something's gonna happen. And you see Lance Henriksen. And so you're already like, all right, this movie's gonna be good. Because everything that he fucking does is good. So
it's the sad walking away music from The Incredible Hulk. That's what it sounded like at the beginning of this movie. I was like, oh, legit. There we go. Sad face. Start from the movie.
Yeah.
Nope. If you guys are playing along with every time you drink outside, every time you drink tonight, the drinking word is sad face. Every time you hear the Reverend say sad face, you have to drink. That makes 3.
So then, what's it called? It starts out like the wife. Well, you find out she's his wife, but her car's broke down. She's got the video camera and she's they're flirting on the screen, and you know, like they're talking.
Hey, baby, how about I take you home behind that wood house and make you happy?
And what's it called?
Now, really ugly and it's very like it's unusual to watch. It's very awkward. It's
so what's it called? As they're going back and forth talking and stuff, he gets a radio, and the guy's like, holy shit, it's huge, it's moving fast, and he's cutting in and out, and then he's asking him, what, and then so like the wife starts walking away because like the guy's saying it's head your way, but she starts hearing something, and she's walking out into the street, and she kind of like turns her camera and sees Biggie walking through the trees.
Yeah. No Biggie vision. We didn't get the usual opening in this movie.
No.
As a matter of fact, this movie breaks all of the BEW Bigfoot movie frameworks that we have. This is a total new genre of Bigfoot movies that we haven't gone into, called, bank robbing Bigfoot movie combination. I mean, this gives you the action of a bank robber movie and the combination of a skank who screws a guy in the friggin' back room of a restaurant movie with the let's go out in the woods and get screwed by a Bigfoot movie. So, it really combines a bunch of...
The sheriff kind of having a friendship with that fucking douchebag robber dude, like at the end,
it was
it was like
meets Boggy Creek 2, the legend continues. We're gonna need a whole lot of more than 4-wheel drive to get out this hole. Uh, it was like a combination of a bunch of weird movies. Like they didn't go together, but they used the same actors. Like they had 3 failed movies that they used all these actors in, and they just kind of cut them all together to make a Bigfoot movie. I got an idea. We'll hire Mr. Whalen and we'll make it a Bigfoot movie. There you go. That's how we save this sucker. Introduce Bigfoot.
Yeah. And so like right as she sees the Bigfoot, and everything, you hear a car skirting, and she turns and she gets hit by the car, right? And the car keeps going. You hear,
not just like bumped into, like that bitch is dead.
Yeah. And so, what's it called? You hear Lance Henriksen's character. You don't know his name yet. His name's Chase, but you don't know his name yet. And she's, her last moments are caught on camera and shit, and they're talking and everything. And then the next scene is like the sheriff and the deputy walking down the road. There's some kind of conversation about telling the sheriff to clock out, and he's going to see some old lady that gets feisty or some shit. I don't know. I don't remember the whole conversation. But then from there, you start to get this like kind of like hip hop kind of fucking introduction because of like the camera fucking angles and shit that they edited.
Right. They definitely were big on the using of the camera. Let's frame up this thing for a really, really long time for no friggin' reason. And we'll talk about that in a little while.
Yeah, so you get this like weird introduction to this car and everything. And then you see like you get this feel that these people are like no good. You don't know that they're about to fucking do what they are gonna do. One guy's making a fucking stock sale on his little fucking earbud and shit, and then they get in this car and they drive away, right? So then from there is that one cop that like is in the diner, and then that's when that waitress goes back looking for food, and that dude's just chilling in the back with his shirt off, like, "What's up, girl?"
like, is this gay porn? I'm like, what is this? I mean, come on now. Dude's got like he doesn't have a 6-pack. He's got like a 20-pack. Like, I don't know, dude was like abnormally strange. The abdominal area. That's all I can say about it. It was very creepy. Next on Sex Talk Live, let's talk about homosexual tendencies and the Rev. No, let's not do that.
So we're gonna skip right past that, and
so doing the skank in the back room.
Yeah, so they're getting it on in the back. And she's saying something to him about how they've only fucking known each other for 4 days, but did you mean all that? You marry a girl like me and all this shit. You're just like, wow, girl, you're for 4 days and that. Oh man. But anyways, yeah. So the next scene, you see that all those shady dudes and the stock guy put on fucking monkey masks and they go and rob a fucking bank.
It's like, what the fuck? I was like, I thought I was watching a Bigfoot movie. So far, I ain't seen nothing but, Mr. I'm definitely gay trying to hump a skank in the back of some restaurant, and it's a bank robber movie. Okay, come on now. Where's the... Anyhow, so, yeah, monkey mask going into the bank. And Skank Gorilla Dude is still banging chicker. He's still eating out some chick that he has just met. I'm sorry, bro. That's just like, wow. I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna get you 2 swimming pools.
So what's it called? That dude, he ends up like putting his monkey mask on, and he's parked in front of the bank or whatever after he left that chick, and the cop comes and he's gonna give him a ticket and shit
because he tossed out the bitch's phone number. She wrote his phone number down while he was talking about, I'm gonna buy you 2 swimming pools. She's like, well, here's my number. When he gets out into the parking lot, he kisses it and throws it out and litters. and the cop sees it. So he pulls up behind on to write a ticket for littering for throwing Skankarilla's phone number to the ground.
Yeah, so then during that, the other guys are fleeing the bank, and they come out, and then they end up just shooting that cop.
Well, they bust him up. They rough him up. They try to knock him out first. They didn't want to kill dude. But the note to self and note to anybody else who's listening: if you rough the cop up because you don't want to kill him, take his gun. Because if you don't, and he points it at you, you ain't got no choice but to kill his ass. But if you take his gun, he ain't got no gun to point at you. You can just get away, and Mr. Copperilla gets to live. But apparently, Skankarilla guy, he didn't want to kill the cop.
And that was your How to Kill a Cop with Reverend Jeff Pitt.
No, how not to kill a cop. That's the whole thing. You don't want to kill the guy, so you take his gun and run. That way he can't point the gun at you and you ain't got to kill him. The whole point of them beating him up was so that they didn't have to kill him. If they would have taken his gun out of his holster, then he wouldn't have had nothing to point at them, so they wouldn't have had to worry about shooting his dumb ass. He was all like wobbly and shit. It was just like, ugh. So lesson to bad guys. You want to save the cop, steal his gun. How to commit felonies live on the air with the Rev on the next YouTube special.
So the next scene is when the little brunette hottie rolls up and she's at this gas station. She gets out because the gas station's also got this little like yard sale going on, and so she's just looking around, and so she ends up talking to this redhead chick who you find out is Lance Hendrickson's character's daughter in this movie. Anyways, but so they're talking and they talk about, she's like, giving the girl the video, and she tells her about the video and how it put this town on the map and everything. And so like they end up talking about other shit, and then fucking she leaves, and the next scene is like a car crash, and then you get a glimpse of Biggie walking in the woods, and then you see that she crashed with those bank robbers, and the bank robbers are getting out and fucking what's it called? One of the dudes, which ends up the douchey dude or whatever, ends up going to get this little hottie out of her car, and
pack. We'll call him Captain 12 Pack.
Well, you can. I'll call him douchey.
Dean says if it's 12 pack, if he's got a 12 pack, it means he's a reptilian. And you're right, Dean. Or not rob anybody. Just go get a fucking job instead of trying to rob banks. That's just dumb. Thank you for correcting my strange filtered thought. Anyhow, so they crash in the woods, and they point the gun at her and say,
"So one of the dudes,
you're coming with us, honey."
Yeah, one of the dudes is fucked up, and then they fucking take the little hottie hostage, and one of the robbers is this Asian broad. She just comes up and just decks the little hottie, or kicks her, right? And so fucking from there, like the cops come like right when they're just like, getting out of this fucking car and shit. And like in the middle of the fucking shootout, this guy gets another call on his little fucking ear thing, and he's like selling stocks while he's in a shootout with the cops and the sheriff. And then like fucking Biggie's like in the background, like, what the fuck, motherfuckers? Shut up. I just had a kid. Like, fuck. But then so it gets quiet for a minute, and the sheriff is like, he just turned 70 or something, you learn in the beginning or whatever. This old
Happy
dude fucking
birthday, dear sheriff. Happy birthday to you. Speaking of Smurf Day, and then Rackman's birthday. I wished him earlier that he might be able to source out that problem with looking like a primate and possibly smelling like one too. I'm not sure if he would get the reference or not, but I'm hoping he's smart enough to find that funny.
I completely fucking lost where we were.
Crashed into the woods.
Yeah, the sheriff goes walking over
reptilian
there.
boy gets. Yeah, there you go. That one there.
The sheriff goes walking over to the car and sees that they're running into the woods and shit. And like you get like a cut of Biggie creeping around. The sheriff calls or tells the dude call for backup or whatever. And then like
get more help down here.
The next scene, this like fucking like eccentric ass fucking old man shows up named Eli, and he's got this big ass gun, and like he starts fucking with the fucking two deputies and like calling them blue horns or blue shoes. I don't know what the fuck you call them. I don't know. But so he called them blue something, blue balls. But so like they end up going and looking for the fucking bank robbers, right? So then
we gotta find them.
Yeah,
they got somebody hostage. They got that girl. They're gonna kill her. We gotta find them.
And then
that's about all I could hear.
So the robber dudes end up leaving the guy that's like shot and hurt or whatever, and that dude's chilling with a gun, and he just full on sees Bigfoot just walking straight up at him, you know, and like he can't get he's shaking, he can't get his finger right on the trigger. And Biggie just fucks his day up. And from there, fuck, I lost again. Yeah, so then Eli and the sheriff are walking and talking. And then, like, it cuts from that, you know, like they're cutting scenes. And it's like the bank robbers walking and Biggie creeping and then fucking the cops end up finding that fucking dude's body, and it's all like mangled and bent backwards and fucking like just like Biggie just twisted him into a pretzel basically.
Pretzel. Yeah. Pretzel boy. Pretzel. Hey, would you like to die now?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, smell the feet, smell it, then take it.
And then so
no one messes with the Zohan.
They try radioing for backup again or whatever, and then what's it called? That Eli guy is like ahead of the group now. He kept going on, and he radios to the sheriff that he's about like 10 minutes ahead of the bank robbers or some shit, and then he fucking says he's talking about, did you see that little hottie that they took hostage? I'd like to pluck those apples. I just started cracking up with that because this dirty old
like
man.
To just get it right on a, can I stick my hand up in there?
But I think that's what we were all thinking at that moment, anyways.
Dirty old bastard.
But yeah, so from there, fucking that Eli guy by himself.
Sniff her butthole.
You're on a good one tonight. And
rolled. Trying to make old Wes laugh.
What's it called? The old man Eli guy. He's by himself and he's tripping. He's hearing voices or not voices, but noises. And then Biggie's behind him. And fucking, you just hear the roar and radio.
Oh, sorry. It was like a total interruption in the movie too. Everything kind of went silent when the roar came out. I was like, oh, I guess we need to pay attention to that because it was so friggin' loud.
Yeah. So everybody like has a reaction moment, like what the fuck's going on?
And what was that, Buckley? Oh, Lord.
The robbers end up stopping. I don't know what else to call them. Just robbers? It sounds like so stupid. But I don't know what else.
They were bank robbers. I mean,
yeah, the bank robbers. So
the criminals, the
thieves, the
thieves,
thugs.
Well, they weren't teenagers, so they couldn't have been thugs.
Well,
Thug is an acronym for teenage hoodlums using guns. That's what a thug is. These people were a bit too old to be a thug. They were straight up gangsters. The gangsters, the bank gangsters.
Yeah, so they sit and rest for a minute, and like
Mr. Boombastic,
the douchebag guy tries hitting on the fucking hostage hottie.
I love it.
And
I love it.
She totally
You're gonna force
fucking
me
denies
out of
him.
here by pointing a gun at me, then you're gonna hit on me? Really? He's like, wait, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what did she do with the candy?
I don't even remember.
Dropped it, yo. She dropped the candy like Hansel and Gretel, like the breadcrumbs, dog. She dropped them things in the ground behind them, going. Ah. He's like, "Where you going?" She's like, "I gotta pee." So she left the crumbs behind, like Hansel and Gretel. That's what that's all she did.
Like someone will know that to look for her gummy bears.
Well, they find them later on in the movie.
Yeah, and eat them. But what's it called? The next scene, the dad or Lance Henriksen, his character Chase and his daughter talk over, I think, some sandwiches. And
oh, Roger, like you're home. Let me make you some sandwiches.
And then what's it called?
Bad Santa? Jesus Christ. Do we have too much of a delay between us tonight, or are you just that stoned that you're not getting any of my movie references tonight? I swear.
Well,
I'm wasting gold here today. I'm wasting gold here. I thought that fat kid's name was Roger all this time, and his name's fucking Thurman. It's crazy. Anyhow, back to the movie.
Yeah, they're talking, and the Chase like pretends like he forgot what day it was, and he's like so sorry, and like the next scene is where the cops find the gummy bears. I wrote that down. I don't remember writing that down. And so
I told you.
Arguing.
It was like an important plot twist, and you're like, they found gummy bears. You think to yourself, where the fuck did these gummy bears come from?
No, I didn't even pay attention. I was just looking at the little hottie.
She had an ass on her, like, never mind.
And then, what's it called?
Sorry.
So, the
next on Sex Talk Live with the Rev. Rating asses, 1 to 10.
You find out that, you know, that Chase dude did remember the birthday, had a little present all wrapped for his daughter and everything. And they have this little moment, and they talk. And then she goes inside to, I guess, take a nap or something, and he's listening to the police radio. And the next scene from there, those bank robbers stop and rest again, and they're taking shit out of the chick's backpack. So they get her water and they start passing it around like everybody's drinking her shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, excuse me, have you people not heard of like herpes or chlamydia or any of that shit? I mean, dude, that's just, ew. Drink after people? What's wrong with you? Ugh. It's uncouth, man. You don't drink. Ugh. Drink shit after people.
The next scene from there is when the cops and the sheriff walk up and they see this big, like, den kind of area, like, looking, and it's like blood, and there's this other shit, and then the sheriff ends up fucking saying that's afterbirth, you know, and it's from something big or some shit, you know. And I put way too much ice in my mouth. But what's it called? The next scene from there is the bank robbers are arguing, and the British guy is fighting with the douchebag. And then from there, their fight gets cut off when Biggie's like roaring, and he's shaking a big ass tree, and they can see the tree, you know, and they're hearing the roar. They like start shooting fucking everywhere. and one of them's like, I hit something, you know, and they go and look, and they see some blood and shit, you know, and the hottie tries running away, and as she's running away, she like gets stopped in her tracks because Biggie like just walks dead in front of her, just clear as day. She saw it, and just she's like in shock, and then like the douchebag like comes up behind her and is like, you know, trying to make a joke, like, you thought you'd get away, you know, like, and she's like freaking out, you know, and then she punches him.
Are we about halfway through here there, Chief Ola?
Yeah.
Well, we go and take a look and see who's hanging out in the live chat room tonight. Let's see here. Of course, the king moderator himself, the guru of the Squatchers Lounge podcast channels, Mr. Dean Cooper, our quasi theorist. That's right. Oh. Hey, did you hear about that new disease in China? It's called Kush Tiger. Hey, man, how you doing? Glad you're hanging out with us tonight. Of course, the cheermaster herself, Starshine. Hey, did my drunken half Irish dad, Ryan McGinty, he's hanging out there in the Ryan McGinty, my half Irish drunken dad. Sam Squinch Rivera, that's right. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
Sam Squinch.
Sammy, Bobammy, Banana Vanna. Okay, that's probably copyrighted, so we probably can't do that either. Let's see here. Who else is hanging out there? Mr. Rod Dupree.
In the place to be.
That's right. People chatting. Lots of people.
I almost forgot I had this.
Dude, those things are fantastic. You never forget that you have those. You always get a new delivery service because they'll always throw you a J. Hey, look at that. Mr. Jeffrey Teagle. How you doing there, Slick? Glad you could join us as well.
Teagle?
No, Teagle. Definitely Teagle. I've been talking back and forth with that guy on. Yeah, it's Kegel. It's pronounced Kegel. No. His name is Teagle. That's for sure. Let's see here. Jesse.
Like the dog, the Teagle? Is it
Brandy? How you doing, man? The last name's got a whole lot of R's, and the dyslexic guy doesn't do real well with that stuff. How you doing? James the grower, dude.
He grows
Prop 64.
Hella Brussels sprouts.
And tomatoes. I hear fabulous indoor tomatoes. Prop 64
and he
says
grows those little baby corns.
You can grow pot in your living room.
Little baby corns.
Right there in your living room, dude. My friend's got a baby pool right in his living room that he's growing. It's fantastic. Let's see here. What else? Who else is hanging out here? This has got to be getting to the top of this thing. I know there were a bunch of people in here early that had to bail out. Now, batting third, our center fielder, Mr. Kurt Harris. How you doing there, Kurt Harris?
Collier Williams.
That's right. Collier Williams. He's out there as well.
I always fuck his last name up.
Yeah. What you talking about, Williams? Yeah, exactly. Sir Wesley Lounger of Losner.
Yeah. We all have our issues fucking people's last names up.
That's right. It's there. Sorry, guys, they won't let me scroll any higher to talk to the people that left out of here earlier, but I'm sure Rock City Marco was one. Let's see here. Let's see these late cameras in there. At the bottom of this mess, we've got, look, it's hi, Kyle Moreau. How you doing there, yo? California picking antiques, bitchos. What's up, Red? What up to you, California picking? I see. Yeah, I got a little gin all over my mic, man.
Oh, you got gin on your chin.
I got gin all over my chin now. It's in my beard. Damn it, I'm going to smell like gin all night now. I don't know if I'm going to be all right with that or not, but we'll figure it out later. Mr. Dan King in the ding-a-ling-a-ling. That's bad. How you doing, Dan King? Glad you could join us as well. That's who's hanging out live hangout. You want to be here? Check Facebook.com/lounge podcast. That's where all the show announcements go up. Time adjustments, day adjustments, week adjustments. Everything is right there, y'all. You ain't got to be crazy. Facebook.com/S Lounge Podcast. And you too will be in the know. Tell your grandma, tell your uncle, tell your pappy. It's there. You can also find us at Facebook.com/groups/S Lounge if you want to hang out and see who's going down. That's right. Speaking of going downtown, let's go downtown with Reverend Brown and back to Wesley Lawson of Lounge in the Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly studios. How you doing, buddy? Let's get it back going.
The studios. That just happened to be in front of my lizard cage. No, so from there, after the little hottie punches the dude
right in the scrotum,
one of the deputy shows up and like the douchebag like makes an like a mention that, hey, we got a Mexicali standoff going on. And then like Biggie comes and just fucks up that dude, the cop. And like the other dude gets laid out but not killed. And like the next scene is like the chicks fighting. This little hotties fighting the Asian, and fucking the other bank robbers catch up with them, and then the sheriff shows up, and fucking Biggie ends up fucking up the British dude, and they all start shooting and they run. They find this cabin, and that fucking Chase dude, who's Lance Henriksen's character or whatever, they talk about what he saw. And the douchebag dude's like, sorry.
Bless you.
Oh, motherfucking 3 times, yo.
Hell yeah, y'all.
So what's it called? Dude's like saying he saw a gorilla. He's fucked up, and like
they say if you sneeze 4 times with your eyes open, you die.
I know. And then fucking I probably will. But what's it called? They find like Bigfoot tracks, and like dude like fucking realizes he did see something. He starts talking to his wife, and they end up finding the dead cop, deputy, whatever he was. And that fucking the next scene is that stockbroker dude, and he's talking to the hottie about his daddy issues. This guy's got major daddy issues. He fucking like brings it up like 3 more times. Like he just starts talking about his dad to this broad, and she's like, "Get the fuck out of here." So then the douchebag dude comes up in the door, and he shows up with Chase, and they have this like standoff, and the Asian broad looks outside and sees Biggie, and she freaks out and fucking.
Well, she sees a footprint. She sees the giant footprint because the dude was like, right outside your door, there's a set of tracks. I saw the creature run right in here right before I came in here. Okay, honey, why don't you go out there and verify that lie? What? That Asian chick was like, no, I don't think so. Why don't you go check that shit out? But she manned up. She definitely freaking, she nippled up, went out there and looked. She saw the footprint. She was like, oh! So it is out there. It's right here. The Sasquatch is right here.
So, like, they end up having this little conversation. The robbers end up giving the guns back to the cops, and they're all going to work together. So they've been, like, mentioning this smell coming from the cabin and everything. So they go looking, and they end up finding the owner of the cabin. And he's sitting on the toilet, and the douchebag goes, "Damn, just like Elvis," like because dude's been dead for like 2 weeks, sitting on.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's stinking, bloated, not looking good at all.
So then, from there, Biggie shows up, and he starts throwing rocks through the window and fucking shit bombs. I don't know what the fuck he was throwing, but it was going crazy. And then fucking the stockbroker dude gets beamed with a rock, and then the fucking, like, I don't know how that scene just ends, but like the lame douchebag dude starts talking to Hottie, like trying to fucking, you know, be nice to her and shit and hit on her. And what's it called? She calls him out, and then that Chase guy comes from the shadows and like basically calls him a pussy too, and starts talking shit to him. And then the next scene is when the sheriff and Chase talk about what happened, and then what, you know, they see and everything. And then that's the next scene when they start hearing exactly what he just explained. And they realize that that little hottie is playing that video in the cabin, and they're watching exactly what he explained to the sheriff.
Right.
They're now watching it, and they're seeing exactly what happened. So they watched the video, and you know,
Same screens was on it.
That
it was the same screens on it.
Yeah, and then there's another scene where that douchebag tries to have another moment with the hottie. And then fucking
still trying to get that ass at 30 billion.
And then the Asian broad comes up to the hottie and is like, "Let's go powder our noses," and they go off. And so
I thought that meant they were going to snort coke, or was that just the dirty ass girls that I was dating?
I think that's just what you were messing with. But so they're in the
next
bathroom.
On Sex Talk Live. How not to take coke horse?
And they're what's it called? So they go and have a conversation and shit. And then there's this like, let's kill 2 minutes with a waiting piano montage, and then everyone will go to sleep, and then dawn, and then we can get back to the movie because we have to have it at daytime because it's expensive to film at night. Right. And so they take off, and the Asian chick is like, "Fuck you guys, you know, it's safer at this cabin." And she stays.
I ain't going nowhere, motherfucker.
Yeah, and so they leave her, and she stays, and she starts going through the place, and she sees that the guy that, you know, died on the toilet was feeding Bigfoot, and Bigfoot actually was like chilling at this house. Yeah.
Just like not like a pet, but like a wild wolf that's like habituated to you, or you're habituated to the wolf, where you know it's gonna eat your ass and kill you one day, but you can feed it out of your hand anyhow. Like you take that chance every time you put food in your hand. It was kind of creepy too, because, well, the birthing station that they found earlier.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's like a whole, it's not just one Sasquatch, but it's got to be like a whole family of Sasquatch. So which one was he feeding? Was he feeding like a juvenile, or, you know, or was he feeding like, you know, like the daddy Bigfoot, and he was taking it back to the family? I mean, you got to kind of wonder about that.
Yeah. So then the Chase finds Eli creeping around, and then they end up looking for the other people. And from there, the bank robbers and the sheriff stop, and they argue, and the sheriff starts having a heart attack right at that moment. And then that stockbroker dude actually like gives the CPR and talks about his dad issues again, and like in the middle of saving this guy's life, as he's like giving this, like he's 2 breaths in this guy's mouth, and then he starts pumping his chest. He's talking about his dad issues and shit, but then he ends up saving the guy's life, not giving a flying fuck, even looking at fucking the sheriff to see if he's okay. Just as soon as he heard coughing, he just kind of like sits to the side, and he just keeps going on about what his dad used to do. And it's just like, God damn, dude, you need a psychiatrist if you want to talk to someone so bad.
You need a couch and a tablet and a pen and some Rorschach inks that look like women with different sized breasts. They always answer it that way. If a psychiatrist ever breaks out the Rorschach inks, I'm not messing with you. Just tell them that it's that's a woman with small breasts. That's a woman with medium-sized breasts. That's a woman with large breasts. That's a woman's vagina. That's a small vagina. Because that's what they want to hear. Those are normal answers. If you tell them it looks like the Millennium Falcon in the middle of friggin' interspace travel, you're gonna go get locked up. It's a friggin' Sanatorium. I'm not sure which is which, but one cures tuberculosis, and the other one locks you up forever because you're crazy. But you don't want to be neither of them. So don't let them take you to one of them places. Next on Sex Talk Live, how not to get butt raped in the sanatorium.
So from the next scene is like the stockbroker guy, thief, Captain Douche, goes back to get the Asian broad, and like when he does, Biggie comes in, he's like carrying a body, and like the Asian broad just like fucking suicide attacks the fucking Bigfoot and shoots the Bigfoot 6 times. Okay?
Yeah.
Literally hits this Bigfoot 6 times with bullets and just comes at him
in the stomach
and gets killed. And then the stockbroker dude unloads another 6 bullets into this Bigfoot. This Bigfoot took 12 bullets that I could count, seeing the fucking and fucking still fucking killed both of them. All right. So then fucking the other survivors right now, it's a small group. They end up splitting up, and then fucking the lame dude and the hottie are together, and then that Brit guy comes, like, so he ended up not dying for when the Bigfoot attacked, and he ends up coming and fighting the lame dude. And then the fucking hottie runs off. The Brit guy ends up catching up with her, and then Biggie pops up and just fucks his day up and really kills him that time. Just stomps him. So then fucking they're running, and everyone shows up, and like Biggie's right there, just like everyone just, and Biggie's not moving. He sees everyone. Everyone's got their guns, and everyone just starts putting their guns down. And Biggie's like fucking looking at his hand. He's covered in blood. He's breathing hard. He's like down, like almost on his knees and shit. And he's fucking moving around. He's breathing heavy. And Biggie's like, "Fuck this. You know what, you guys, we're good. Fuck this." Like
you win. I'm done. Nobody wants to kill me. I don't want to kill you. I'm holding hands with hot chick over here now, so I'm not a threat anymore either.
So then he like tries to like walk off a bit, and then he like kind of falls down a little ways away from them, and he like lets out this like loud scream, and then like he's basically
I would call that a death wail.
Yeah,
is what I would call that. I would call that a death fucking
and then fucking, so then you end up hearing like a female Bigfoot roaring
in the distance. Yeah.
And then
she
and then a baby. And then you hear a baby one.
So that must be a badass baby, though, because it was just given an afterbirth. They found the afterbirth a little while ago when they was coming through the woods. So that's got to be one badass baby to be like up around and knowing it's daddy and knowing it's got to cry when daddy dies. Or was that a juvenile? And there's a baby out there too.
I don't know. It just sounded like a young one.
They're creepy and they're hairy. They live in a fairy. I'm sorry. They're all together scary. The Bigfoot family.
The sheriff ends up radioing Chase and like, or not Chase, but like the fucking dispatch, and Chase's daughter is wanting to talk to him. They talk to each other and everything. And then the fuck did I write right here? The next scene is the fucking newspaper you see in the little fucking newspaper stand thing. It says, fucking cop killed, thieves killed in bear attack. and shit. Like I was like, how dumb is this town to fucking believe that this
The
that's
bear
what
did that
happened?
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
bear kills him.
So then
Bear attack on bank robbers.
the next scene is the hottie. She shows up to see the waitress because the douchebag passed the fucking letter to the hottie. It was like,
You're the reptilian guy, yeah, that
give
was
this,
banging the waitress in the back.
yeah, give this to her and everything. So hottie rolls up, gives her the fucking envelope, and says peace out.
What's this? A new start.
Yeah, and
This is for giving head to the 12-pack reptilian guy in the back of the fucking diner before he went out and robbed the bank, cunt. Here's your 2 swimming pools.
Here's your cut.
Thanks for being a skank. That's what that was. That was literally thanks for being a skank money is what that was.
Yeah.
That's right. Next week on Sex Talk Live with the Rev, how not to date skanks that need 2 swimming pools.
So she ends up driving off into the sunset. That's in for her. She honks, and you see that she honked to wave at the sheriff, and the sheriff is getting into a truck, and then you see that he's got the douchebag in his truck, and the douchebag just wanted to see that letter delivered and everything. So then they have this moment where they kind of have a friendship, but he's like, you're doing time. And the sheriff makes a joke like, get used to wearing funny stuff, and then they end with that fucking Bigfoot 911 call.
Yeah.
With that guy. I forget what state that call's from. I think it was in Texas, but I'm not 100% sure though.
No, but it totally screws that.
Cameron knows.
You can't. Yeah, Cameron probably knows where that Bigfoot 911 call comes from. I don't know. I don't think he's out there live tonight because we said we were going to be on so late, and he probably decided to catch it in archive. But yeah, hey, it was a good one. I like this one. I enjoy this one. I give this one 4 out of 5 Bigfoots. What could have made it better? I don't know. It just wasn't. It's not a 5-star stellar Bigfoot movie like exists, but it's definitely 4. Definitely 4 out of 5 Bigfoots. What are you thinking there, big man?
See, I'm gonna blow everybody's mind. I'm a huge fan of Lance Henderson, and anything he touches is gold. So I give it 5.
5. Listen to that 5. That's right. This is not Frank Stallone. This is Mr. Whalen.
This is fucking Bishop.
That's right, Bishop, man. He fought aliens.
He was a head. Just a fucking head for half the movie.
That's right. He was badass. So badass he didn't even need a body on screen. He was just a head.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this
for
man
sure.
He's been in 3 Bigfoot movies, just fought aliens and all
Predators.
kinds of demons. He's in this one fucking crazy fucking The Thing kind of movie. He's all over the place. I love that guy.
Yeah, dude. Oh, he was in The Thing way back when, wasn't he?
Not The Thing. It's a different movie that's kind of like that.
Kind of like The Thing, but it's not The Thing because I like The Thing. The Thing was a good movie.
The Thing was good.
All guys like to play with The Thing, right? Playing with The Thing is what things like to go. Hey, okay,
he
that's
took
good.
It there. I was talking about aliens.
Aliens, Mr. Whalen. All right, gonna wrap it up for this edition of the Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly with co-host Sir Wesley Lasner. Lounge, ye old pal, ye old palio. Hey. Wednesday night is going to be another Superfan show hosted by our own Jevin Moore. That's right. Haven't quite figured out what his honorary Squatchers Lounge degree is going to be in yet. I believe he's getting a captainship in bullshittery, but we'll see. That's right. The guy behind Camping Tips for Stupids is going to be your co-host for this week's Superfan Squatchers Lounge podcast. 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, right here on youtube.com/SLounge Podcast, which will be followed by a brand new Bigfoot campfire story. Yay! And if you want badass tattoos, get a hold of your boy Wes here because he does badass tattoos.
Yes, sir.
Shatters is still every day. There's new updates from Snap Shatters, dude. Every single day. I am dying to see what Bra West has got to come up with next because Bra West is the man. We need to have Bra West on the show one night, man. You got to figure out how to get him in the studio because Bra West definitely needs to come hang out one night.
That's a whole other technology.
Maybe
of getting dimensions.
We might have to
wormholes and space-time continuum.
We might have to bring him in here masked and in the dark, because nobody can really know the true identity of Bra West.
He has to blur his face.
He can't be seen in public. But we might be able to hook up an interview with Bra West. We'll have to see what we can do. All right, people. Y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all got to get the hell up out of here. Thanks for watching, and may the squatch be with you. Holy in your butthole. Live with Rev 6 Talk Live. That's right. If some crotchety old woman can do it, why not me? We can talk about everything from placentas to fernal glands. If you don't know what that is, well, maybe you should be watching.
You are losing your mind.
That's right.